Ghostly encounters? I've had countless encounters with the paranormal since I was a very young child, but as I've grown up, I try to stick to logic, things that are absolute. A few experiences in the past where it felt like there were other people in the room with me, a toy with no batteries starting to make noises and then not stopping, seeing people's family members that are deceased when I'm in other people's houses. I once described someone's gran who I had never seen, met, or even seen a picture of. But again, that was childhood, teenage years, and as I got older, the experiences became less so, and only a handful of things have happened. Like my kids' toys rolling around floors when no one has touched them, I rationalized that, as it could be wind, there could be an uneven part of the floor. My wife swears she's seen me standing in our kitchen from the street one day, despite me being in another room. My mother-in-law's canvas was catapulted off the wall when we moved it from the living room to the hall to put up our family canvas, etc. It landed in a position that physically would have been impossible had it just fallen off the wall. However, that brings me on to this last weekend and then the events of this week. I was standing brushing my teeth on Sunday evening and had the extreme sense of being watched. Sounds like paranoia, I know, but it wasn't like a someone might be watching you from afar sense. It was a someone is right behind you sensation. So I turned around several times, no one was there. Called on my wife to double check she wasn't hiding. She was in a totally different room. So I walked into her and said in an extremely sarcastic way, "We are joined tonight by the spirits of our loved ones," but in a totally joking way. About 20 seconds later, if even, my son wakes up screaming he's had a nightmare and couldn't get back to sleep, so I think okay, a bit suspicious. When I was standing in my son's room, I got the feeling of someone being behind me again. Only this time a massive wave of darkness and sadness came over me, to the point my eyes teared up. I didn't know what it was. The only way I can describe it was just like someone told you your parent had died and you feel that gut-reaching sadness, grief, etc. But no one had told me anything, I just had the feeling. I couldn't get to sleep for the rest of the night, and the feeling persisted all night, only I couldn't logically put my finger on it. There was nothing that I was actually feeling. No news I recently had, just the darkness and sadness that would accompany news like that. Fast forward to Wednesday of this week. My father-in-law is rushed to hospital with acute sudden onset kidney failure. He couldn't breathe with swelling, and luckily my wife went to see him that morning, so I think, wow, that must have been the brush with the paranormal, and didn't really give it any more thought. However, yesterday I get the news my uncle, an otherwise extremely healthy and fit man in his 60s, has suddenly passed away. He was found in his house at the bottom of his bed. No one knows his exact date of death, and it could have been any time in the past 2 weeks, as no one had seen him recently. Now I can't shake this feeling that my brush or experience has been linked to the above events this week, and I'm really trying to rationalize it, but can't think of logical explanations for what has happened. Has anyone had anything similar? I don't like see ghosts or orbs or communicate with the deceased or anything, but my brain is really struggling for a logical explanation of what happened.